The topic is death,
Yeah. And doubt. That was so synchronistic and relevant to the week.
right?
I felt like I was dying. Not like personally, but
Dying
just
doubting.
yeah, just like oh man. Yeah, it's been interesting. Mm.
Um, yeah, this week is really interesting too. But it's crossing. So, of course, consult the natal chart. See?
Yeah.
So all the girls in the group chat, all the astrologers, they're all very much getting burned on a stove, getting angry. It's so many things happening at the
Hmm.
same time. So it's hard not to believe in the stars are in conspiracy against us, you know. So
Hmm.
I looked and I was like, what is happening? Why am I so into this topic of death? It's been my
Hmm.
obsession.
Hmm.
So, yeah. What about
What's
you?
what do you have transiting? Something Saturn? Saturnian, Capricorn.
Uranus is crossing, coming closer to my Chiron, opposing the
Hmm.
Saturn.
Mm.
So he wants
Yeah.
to liberate the old, and Saturn is a father. It's a father
Mm.
figure, meaning it's like the responsibility, the authority, and it's opposing all the authorities. All. Don't you dare to tell me something. It's like it's really strange. I was like, you beware. And I keep just saying, beware, because I don't know what's coming out of me sometimes.
Mm.
So, I am upfront telling you a disclosure. Um,
Mm.
don't cross my line.
Yeah, yeah.
You?
I honestly haven't checked my transits. I've been thinking about it though. I'm like, I should probably peek because I'm just feeling like pushed and pulled, I'd say. I'm feeling like this push into creativity at the same time. I'm feeling like pulled pretty strongly into a contemplation of truth and doubt, and that
Mm.
comes with, I think that comes with that, with like the contemplation of death too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been in a odd way, I'm excited for Mercury to sweep into Cancer and hopefully like just feel, because at the same time in all of this desire to contemplate and like death feels like slowing down. Like this most slow thing you could do is just like I'm gonna imagine I'm dead, you know? Um, but like with all the Gemini energy, it's just been like in the background, time is just like flying by.
Um,
So yeah,
mm.
that's where I'm at.
So how do you deal with these subtle invitations? Because, you know, the truth is subtle, subtle. It's very silent, almost like this, like you kind of almost have to feel it, not sense it, not even feel it. I
Hmm.
don't even, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm even trusting my feel. I'm doubting even my feelings. Because you know how we, based on the feelings in the body, we're saying this is what I know it is the truth. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that is healthy to doubt that too, until it actually just layers itself down and there's no more doubt about it. So these small little subtle invitations are just very undercurrent. So how do you respond to the invitations?
Hmm. Yeah, normally I will attempt to work through it with something. And it's interesting this time around, the response that's arising or coming up is to create, just to create and have um, a practice of writing using my voice or just like exploring. Because what I was really feeling into was, it happened on Sunday. It was just like after our Jinkies. I felt so good during our talk, and then after I was just like in a funk, and I was like, man. And then I was like feeling lonely and not that confident and like really desiring to like meet with people and talk with people and kind of get
Mm.
affirmed in that way. And it's funny because later I told Carly and she's like, "Oh my God, she's like, I was looking over at you and you were like the most social person compared to who you used to be." And I'm like, "Oh, it's funny because I felt like I wanted so much more. I just wanted to like, big group hug in the community type of thing." But yeah,
Mm.
the response has been to start creating and because it's like in doubt, the only all I can do is approach truth in each moment. And I think that's it's so tempting to claim that as like that's the thing. But it's like
Yeah.
it's just almost like to play, to play with it, whatever is coming up and just to be at ease with the process of whatever is unfolding.
Mm. Because doubt is so authentic.
Hmm.
Knowing is not. It's
Hmm.
borrowed, right? So, and it comes back, of course, intellect versus intelligence. It's
Right.
perfect. So when you know, okay, I'm not gonna lecture. I'm gonna come back to me. When I know something, I'm instantaneously doubting it. But I already said it. So now I have to deal with myself and my own doubt. I am happy I have a doubt, and I am in pain for saying something that I will actually dismantle just in a minute from now. So when there is such
Hmm.
a belief into something, there's always disbelief. And he's talking about these two extreme poles in all the extremes and all the opposites, the death and sex life, right? So a the doubt and belief, like underneath it. So you when you jump, you want to get to that extreme and to jump off of it, to push so much that you actually go beyond. That's the jumping that I'm understanding from him. So you don't want to stay in the middle in which
Hmm.
you're under accepting both. Acceptance is very, it also happens subtle, right? But the doubt of these extremes will get you to that subtle nature. And when nature becomes what is supposed to become your second nature becomes your second nature, you no longer know of it. It's autonomous. It's like a bot. It's like intelligence that is doing its own thing, and you're not really thinking much about it.
Hmm.
And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, well, whatever truth is authentic to me, an individual to me. So doubt it will get me to, the more I doubt, the more I will reach its end. And when there's nothing to doubt, I reached whatever I'm supposed to reach, and I will not know. I will not know. I would know. I will not be intellectualizing it. I would be intelligent about it. I would be a deep, deep down. It will become my part. The only difference
Hmm.
is it was always there, but now I'm aware of it because I keep doubting, doubting, doubting. It's
Hmm.
really interesting how these things intercept each other, how they correlate, um, and how they are effortful. To doubt, you need an effort, you need a lot of energy because you're going down the rabbit hole. You're literally Alice in Wonderland, and you just keep going and going, and you don't believe anything because you want to state. And the moment you say it is the moment that it's not true.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And do you feel because there's a sense in that place of doubt, just like disturbance, like in a way, you're not, well, I guess I should ask you. Because for me, in deep doubt and the process of unpacking the next thought and the next thought, because it's like there's like this attachment that happens right before I examine it, and then I examine it. I'm like, wait, I can throw that out too. And it feels disturbed, or maybe the word would be yeah, like detached. And this might come back to my moon in Taurus, which is desiring some strong attachment, having values be very clear, and stable in that sense. But how does it feel for you, like in the process of maybe unbecoming, might be the word. I don't
Mm.
know.
You know how many times I caught myself in a lie?
Mm.
In a lie, but I was honest about it. And it's a private thing. Like, so that's why it's very authentic. So you almost feel you're almost like, I'm almost talking to myself in a sense. I want to experience the sadness. And then I'm thinking, am I really truth to what I am experiencing? Nobody's watching, so it's okay. In a sense, you almost have to relax and surrender into your own inward process. So I caught myself so many times in lie that I started laughing. It's becoming laughable. And he's explaining this really cool way of you don't become detached, you just become more aware. And when your awareness is there, you're very much present, but you're witnessing yourself in these parts, in particles. So example will be if we, and this is what I've been contemplating a lot recently, the death, the process of dying is also not known to anybody. And it's very personal, it's very private, and it's very authentic, original to the person who is dying. And inside something happens, and we will never know. We can just guess. But the if you are slowly becoming throughout your life comfortable with death, then and you're becoming curious about it and you're meeting it and you are more relaxed into it, you're going to create a very different story than the one that was no story. We live our life thinking it's going to happen to other people, not us. We're literally lying to ourselves. So, okay, so, and then I ask, why am I lying to myself? What is about that is so scary to me, that I don't want to think about it? I am totally blocking it off. And again, very internal. It happens whenever you're ready. I am not ready to talk to myself about it all the time. And then I'm noticing I'm just freaked out in the body that it's gonna hurt. I was like, okay,
Mm.
well, where is this pain coming? Where is this fear of being hurtful to the body coming from? Because I am not afraid inside, deep down of it, because I don't know the concept. But somewhere did I learn that my body is gonna suffer. And I'm like, okay, well, where is this coming from? So these questionings are super curious in nature. They're not freaked out. They're not in panic. They're not defending anything, and they're not laughing. But by the time I get to some layer, I no longer can doubt, I no longer can question, I take a pause. But everything up to that point is already a different story. So when I am now aware that something else has been a part of my experience, and my experience is growing, and as my inner experience is growing, my awareness about what I have been going through is growing too. So, detachment versus witnessing is your awareness is present and you're only witness, we're supposed to witness. So it says the consciousness leaving the body. And I'm just sitting here watching it. I'm actually aware. And I'm so aware that I want to be every part of it. I'm actually experiencing the process of these two separating.
Hmm.
To me, that's
Hmm.
so new. I was like, okay, well, where else can I witness the process of detachment? I look at my dog, I can't. He's not conscious. I look at the plants, any living beings, I can't. It's not conscious. So I have to look into another human being. I'm seeking outwardly information about where can this happen. And I'm not going to find it. It's just going to be the internal process. So when all is exhausted, there's nowhere else then to come inside. When did I die? And I was conscious dying. The only time I died was when I was in love. And all of this come back to, okay, well, how can I experience death, meditation, and love? That's the only tool that I have technically to do it. Like when I'm totally out. and when I'm actually totally surrendered.
Yeah. Hmm.
I said a lot
Yeah.
of things now, but yeah.
No, it's good. I've had these moments these past few days that I was having a moment yesterday and it felt like deja vu. And I'm like, Carly, this feels like deja vu. It has the quality like in my heart, like in my like nervous system of deja vu where it almost like you feel like you're splitting off or into a new quantum reality or something, you know. Of course, the mind creates something to explain it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's not deja vu. I don't have this isn't like, oh, this happened before, but it's like this feeling of looking at something or the angle of the room and where I'm standing. And it's just like it's like a like it kind of feels like a blob, like an oily like bloop. And I'm just like arising into like, oh, what just happened? Where am I now? Uh, Unexplainable, but it's almost like these moments are invitations to keep questioning reality as it appears and as I experience it.
Yeah, and you're not gonna get consoled by anybody. You're left alone.
Yeah.
There's no consolation because it is so authentic and original to you. So the more you understand that you're alone in this process, the more you're gonna know your uniqueness is gonna show up.
Hmm.
And your uniqueness is huge value. So it changes the way you approach it. So now you become, okay, well, it is mine. It is very much mine. So I might as well just tap into it and work with it, talk to it, and get it to know it. That's I think that's where that intelligence becomes because it's not knowing, unexplainable. You're tapping into it to experience something of your intelligence
Hmm.
because it's not a coincidence. It indeed happened to you. It's just a matter of how curious you are about it and these glimpses of.
Hmm. Yeah, so quick story. We were at one of the neighbors' houses. Carly's meeting with her. She's a doula and midwife, and she's considering using her for her birth. And we're at this property, and the kids are playing. She's got like a zip line and a pool and a trampoline. So I'm out like playing with the kids, and then I'm coming back in and visiting while they're discussing. And then I'm out again, and then I'm going back in, and I was out, and I looked over in the yard, and I'm like, that is a really cool looking, like it looked like sprayed rubber, like red rubber flooring. I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's used for like an event. Like maybe she has events on the property. Maybe people dance there. I don't know what it is, but it was just like really alluring. And I saw that there was a ball on there, and I was like, I'm gonna go get the ball for the kids. And I walk up to this, what I think is sprayed rubber, and I'm like, this is incredibly level. And I'm like, it's almost so level that it's disorienting. And I was just feeling like, whoa, like I feel like I'm floating.
So good.
And I'm like, okay. And I go to step on it, and it was so like level that I'm stepping very slowly, stepping very slowly. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put my foot down. Next thing I know, plunge. And I'm like, oh, like this is water. And I'm like
Huh?
up to my waist in water. And I'm like, oh, this is a pond. And I throw my phone out and my keys. And then I climb out and I'm just laughing. I'm like, I needed that because I was in such a funk on that day. And then I told them and they were laughing too. And I'm like, I just find myself in these moments of like, it sounds silly, but I'm like, reality isn't as it seems. Like this is such a clear metaphor that what I'm experiencing or what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing isn't like what is truth in that sense, you know. It's like until you step on the thing that you think is solid and you fall through. And this is what keeps happening metaphorically, so to speak, in my life when I step on something that seems solid and then it falls through. And then I find what is solid and what is liquid and what is air and what is true and what is not. And then there's another unfolding that happens through that as well. Yeah, what to say about it? I could say I'm grateful, but again, I even doubt
You had
that.
a good laugh.
Yeah, I did. And I was like, I needed that.
Was
I
it
almost,
that not recognizable that it's a pond?
yes, it was, yeah, so
Or
the
you just looked
red,
in?
no, the red that I thought was like rubber cement, it was, like algae. Uh, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It looked almost identical. And then the ball looked like it was sitting on top. It was just like, it just had me.
Too good.
It totally had me. And the woman who owns the property, she's like, yeah, that's definitely a pond. And then when Carly looked at it, she's like, oh, I could see how you thought it was a solid surface. Yeah, but I got tricked. Tricked myself.
You were curious, and
Mhm.
you're kind of like a childish in nature. You are
Mhm.
fun. You're joyous. You're joyful. You play. Come on, adults don't play. You have so much chance to play with your boys and be a boy. And you know how we in society think that's absolutely not okay. Doubt it. That's why I'm saying, because when you have a child, the doubt, and here's another thing, the doubt comes with us, meaning the child asks everything, it doubts everything. It's actually birthed with us, like doubt, doubt. It's that pure. What is this? What is this? And why is this? And why is this? And why is this? It actually doubts everything around. And you're going through that with your boys right now. And you will see that the doubt is nature. It's very natural. And they're not knowing anything. And look how much fun they have by just wondering and doubting
Mhm.
and discovering. It's like you almost want to not tell them what it is because you
Mhm.
don't want to bring them to knowing. They need to come down. Knowing will settle to them the more doubtful they are.
Yeah.
So I love that you have this I love that for you actually, that you have this childish sense inside of you. I can totally see you playing like a
Mhm.
like a child with your children. Really cool.
Yeah. And it was a reminder in a way that it's uncomfortable to fall into a pond and be duped, you know.
Humiliated, you mean?
Yeah, it's like
So
humiliating.
good.
Um, but I was contemplating like what's the alternative that I never try and I never get wet and I never experience the absurdity of my belief or like, the attachment that comes with it or the desire of experiencing. Because in my in my mind, I was like, this is the coolest, flattest thing I've ever seen, and I can't wait to like do handstands on it or try a flip or like I wanted to play. Yeah.
So you said, what's the alternative of not stepping into the pond by mistake? Falseness of you, inauthenticity,
Hmm.
in originality. You're gonna do what everybody else is doing, being proper, being a gentleman. That's not
Hmm.
authentic. That is not original. That is not pure. The innocence is pure, and humiliation is the door to authenticity. So go and humiliate yourself and play with your authenticity. Touch yourself into that which is original to you. And that's where we need to play with. So, of course, it's God forbid wrong to do, but you want to rebel a bit, not intentionally. You want to get that innocence out to rebel, to free you up from the falseness of life, because everything we do in life, majority of our time, is what we learned how to do. It's an add-on a necessity, and we are
Yeah.
forgetting what the actual necessity for endlessness of our life and is, which is to touch and live from the purity of our innocence. So,
Yeah.
what's the
And in that,
alternative? False
yeah.
life.
Hmm.
So good
And
for you.
yeah. And in
So
that
good.
same vein, the seriousness feels like the seriousness is the cosmic joke. When I take it seriously, that's
Yeah.
when it's the most hilarious.
Yeah.
Of course, after the fact, right? But like,
Yeah.
I just had this reminder was like in the midst of suffering because things are not going well. And the message is like, you take it so seriously, but how much of it do you think is really real? It reminds me of the Matrix.
Mm.
It's
See,
like
but you're doubting.
yeah, you accept it hook, line,
Mm.
and sinker. Of course you're suffering. And in contemplation of death, it's the paradox that it brings more life through you. Of course, it's uncomfortable though because it's like the humiliation and getting it wrong and playing the fool. We could look at like tarot to kind of paint the picture of that and what that looks like. But we, as intellectuals, we desire to be the master or to have like access to the master. Come to find out, like, the masters
Are the fools.
are the fools and they unpack it for us. They they present the doorway. But as he says, like, we try to follow, and this goes back to the seriousness, like the learned habits and behaviors that we carry with us. Even in the attempt to follow the masters, Jesus or Buddha or Osho or Maharavi, the instant they move, the path disappears. And of course, they're always moving. So it's like the desire to have a path laid out for us. And then this is also the process of unbecoming and of like finding yourself, I forget the word you used, alone, finding yourself staring at a mirror. Really, that's what it is. Um, and the prize, the prize is in remembering or seeing again that it's just you and this game, like this Leela, this play. Yeah.
So much to say. Um, you know, Jesus didn't know of Christ nor Christianity. We created that. Okay. Simple. And why did we create that? Why did we resurrect him? Doubt. Why? It's the only human being that we have never seen nor can prove that has a rebirthed himself again and was born a second time. There was not one human being for the rest of our lives that did that. It's healthy to doubt it and
Mhm.
not believe it because believing it is going to get us to extremes, which is hence what's happening in the crowd. So, why was not one more person after him doing the same thing? It's a simple question. And it's really hard for me to believe it what the add-on addition is. But when I question about it, it's like, what was so freaky and freaky scary for a human to create a false story that ended up being a religion? And why did we do that? It's like you almost have to question it. So is it really death that was the reason? Because no, they couldn't face it. They had to resurrect someone in order to think there is an affinity and the body's going to live. But the body's not living. It's like that's the fact. It's like there's not one and then you look into your simple example of your living life. Every time that happens to someone else, do you believe it's not going to happen to you? It's not me. There's this instantaneous program that comes in and uploads. That's how I feel. So, far away. Really?
Hmm. Hmm.
Is it really true? And, that comes back closer and closer to you. And the closer it hits you, the more we grow older, the more real it becomes. So until that becomes it's a precise certainty in our own being, we're not going to live the life. Meaning, when it happens so close to us, we freak out. 9/11 is a great example. Suddenly, everybody was full of fear that this can happen anywhere out of blue, that the consciousness, the frequency of consciousness was raised up. And I don't know if you read the report, I read it somewhere. It's like the amount of planetary frequencies just went a level up, not
Hmm.
only in fear, but also in realization, in the awareness of that is actually really part of us. It's not close, it is inside of us. And that's why I think it's very interesting to face yourself in your intimacy with it and your discomfort almost to come closer to it. So what is it that you're afraid when it comes to that? So far I came to a conclusion that the pain in the body really freaks me out. And also the uploaded freak or agony. So now I have to face the agony. It's like, what is that? Because I don't know really what the agony is. I have to come closer to it to discover what it is. So curiosity about it is really a self-inquiry. And the inquiry is not gonna end you. If anything, it's gonna open you up and it's gonna invite you to more openness, to lighter parts of self. It's gonna lighten your load and life becomes full of worry when and indeed can become full of a joyous moments, right? So full of innocence. It's in our nature. So why not? Why am I hoping for innocence and joy when I can just talk to worry? That it's right here. It's like it's inside of me. I'm worried. Let me meet it. Let me
Hmm.
meet it.
Hmm.
But no one wants to do that. No one wants to question themselves. It's very hard to come inward, right? So this energy that is outwardly always going and trying, it's very much the mind's trick and mind's game. It's like what outside of me is catching me? And why am I always there? Like, how can I come back in? How can I come back in? And he's good in saying meditation. I'm good. Well, what helps me, for me, is like I'm questioning it. When I become aware that I'm out there, I'm always making myself question. It's like, what are you doing out there in Ukraine? I am not there. I'm in LA. What am I doing out there? Why would I go there? What makes me wanna?
Hmm. Yeah. And do you feel the paradox arising
In what?
of, well, I'll just touch on it. Maybe there's nothing here, but when you started, you said death seems so far away, and we tend to detach from the idea of it. And even with loved ones, there's this like, it's like pushing away, it's like, it's not me. And at the end, saying, why go out there, like, and be so far away because it's not here? In a way, like, I just sense a paradox of what it means to be human. It's like we push certain things away and then we pull ourselves into things that are very far away or very external or not present within us.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
I look at my dog. He has a little brain, but he has no awareness. The
Just a
death
little.
is gonna hit him too.
Yeah.
I have awareness. So why am I lying to myself, leaving it for later? Actually, not wanting to even, it's just, you are gonna be surprised. But look, I laugh at it, and maybe I will have a terrible death. You never know. But maybe that's the possibility too, because I'm laughing at it now. Maybe the joke
Yeah.
is to twist it upside down. But why not even and why not allowing the possibility for that to happen? So nobody other than me, for me, inside of me, within me, is going to question it. That's where the aloneness comes in. And it's very different from loneliness. In loneliness, I need the external world to fulfill me. I need you. Help. In aloneness, you're whole because you don't need anybody else. And to become alone is to be so full of yourself, meaning so comfortable to all sides of you that you really don't need anyone else to fulfill you. You become alone. You're comfortable alone. You're whole. You're not seeking the other. So let's go back to what you said just 20 minutes ago, because I remember I wanted to touch back. When you feel lonely and you need a crowd,
Hmm.
it's almost like when you fulfill yourself alone and you become whole, you become so overflowing with the self-love that you want to share. So you go out there and you empty yourself. You give everything that you got and then you become
Hmm.
empty.
Hmm.
And when you're sharing yourself to them, you're giving everything that you have because the love is just coming out. And then you retract back into fulfillment of your own self as well. And these two are so extreme that we live in one or the other. We cannot understand that we need
Yeah.
both. So it's beautiful to retract and charge up. And it's also beautiful to give it all away, all of
Yeah.
it, the last inch of it.
Well,
The
I'm so
only
glad you
difference,
said that.
go
Hmm.
ahead.
I'm so glad you said that because the feeling that came with it was that I'm holding myself back. And it was like, I just want to meet one more person. I want to do one more thing. I want to do a little bit more. And I'm
Yeah.
almost looking for validation to just give a little bit more. I'm like, if only I had even more friends, if only I had people doing what I want to do. And it's like, there's an element of like, what's this word keeps coming up? Embarrassment or something along that. But like, it's almost on me in that sense because it's my desire to put myself out there and just do it. And if people come and join, then they come and join. If no one comes and joins, then I feel that sense of embarrassment and then carry on. I don't know. But just having the courage to go there and honor what's like in my heart at that moment because ultimately I guess that's what it comes down to is like in that social setting of being like they won't accept all that's in here, it's too much.
See,
Yeah.
that's where you see, this is a great field to enter into. It's like, why am I needing to be fulfilled by their acceptance? And if I don't, I feel really lonely.
Yeah. Because I'm in a roundabout way, I'm desiring someone else to see my heart and allow it to like I almost need the validation to show more of who I am instead of showing who I am and then allowing the external to just be because
Hmm.
there's a gap. There's always gonna be a gap there. They can't meet me at my heart.
Can you?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. If
Right. And then you're so good at it. You become so good at it that you're laughing at yourself because it's overflowing and you're not even giving it away anymore. It's coming out alone.
hmm.
Re Really good example will be marriage and freedom. You know, you want freedom
Hmm.
because marriage took everything away from you. And the only way to gain back yourself, because you lose yourself in relating, you lose all of you in relating. That's the point.
Hmm.
But the point is not to lose it for the rest of your life. The point is to lose it and gain it, and lose it and gain it. So the freedom is necessary so you can find you again.
Yeah.
Because next time when I find you and I am so filled with me, it overflows to you anyway. So you
Hmm.
want me to be alone, free me so I can feel me and give it all. It's coming your way anyway.
Yeah. So lovely.
right? But how am I gonna know who I am unless I have a alone time and unless I become brave to be on my own and meet me? It takes courage to meet yourself in all that there is humiliation, embarrassment, shame, pain, fear. But look, these are very personal feelings. These are actually very personal, authentic to you, only original feelings. You don't want to let them go. You don't want to not use them. You want that to be your own authentic self. You want that uniqueness to be discovered inside of you. You don't want to share them with others. No, no, no,
Hmm.
don't give them away. You will give yourself away anyway once you fill yourself up with your own awareness. That's
Hmm.
the difference. And there is this fear inside that comes in attention. It's really freaky to meet you and to sit in silence in pain.
Hmm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. And back to death, because I was hearing when you're contemplating it, you're like exploring what is it that you're afraid of. And I'm asking myself the same question. And for me, oh, yeah, and so on Sunday after our talk, after Gene Keys, I went to the to Kahana, to the beach, and it was huge. And I was like, I'll swim anyway. And I had this moment where the current's pulling me out quite strongly. And it's pulling me out and away, where I'm like, like, oh shoot. And so I start to contemplate and prepare to be like, okay, can someone throw me a buoy or something to just hold on to? And I'm like, well, that's not gonna matter because they could throw me something and the current's just pulling. I'm just gonna be gone and then I'll have to get rescued or something. But in that moment, I'm like, hmm. And the waves are huge. And I was thinking about Milica and how we talk about tsunamis. And I'm like, if a tsunami came, it would just be over. I'm not a place where I could survive that. Um, and so all of this is happening as I'm in the ocean. And I'm like, well, maybe today's the day. I don't know. Maybe today's the day. That's the end. And then there's not a lot of fear in my body or like for the experience of drowning or getting hurt or falling or the pain. What tends to come up for me is this, maybe you could help me unpack it, is this sense that my family needs me and they're not going to be ready for it and I don't want to disturb them and like how horrible would it be for a young child to not have their father and I just play that out and I'm like, of course I don't want to die because it doesn't feel fair to them. It doesn't feel, so it's almost like I'm externalizing it. Yeah.
Yeah, so the story about it uploads right away and it becomes your wall. It becomes absolutely like what you're identify with. But even this, how do you know that's truth? How
Yeah,
do
I
you
don't.
know they're going to be miserable? Here I am, no father, super happy.
Yeah.
For a fact, because of that. I said
Yeah.
that's a different that's a different story. But really, how do you know? You won't
Yeah, that's
know.
true. It's all, yeah, and it's almost like I'm creating meaning through the identity instead of instead of letting go. Like, how do I, like to your point, like how do I know? And I can't know. So really it's meaningless to go there in the future and pretend that I know that I'm gonna make someone else miserable because I wasn't able to swim into the beach. Like, I don't know.
It's only a story, and it's a invalid.
Hmm.
It's false. It's not real.
Yeah.
Because the only real thing that is happening at that moment is you actually experiencing something and you're running away from it.
Yeah. Hmm.
You're running away
Right.
through the story out there. You're not even present in it. You have no idea what's happening. You can't even feel the water. You can't feel the fear inside. There's no panic happening. You're not even aware that you're breathing, right? So, and now you can dissect it and come back and say, next time I'll see if I can enter inside rather than I'm so lost. I lose myself immediately. So the dying, okay, which we can just contemplate about until it happens, and then we'll know, is being aware of every single inch of the process. So it comes, I was actually reading earlier a few days ago about this too. And you know how in yogi traditions, they're explaining how these centers are activated throughout our life. So you either have a sex center active or a almost like you experience yourself through sex center or through heart center or through the third eye center. These are the centers in which your consciousness is going to leave through at
Mm-hmm.
the end of your life. So your consciousness, a consciousness is going to leave the body through one activated center. And you are going to be aware of the separation. The
Mm-hmm.
awareness is that the conscious itself, but watch how much power we have through awareness, actually. My dog doesn't know, but I do. I'm given the space, the possibility to become aware and watch myself go through these processes. My awareness is allowing me to continue. My awareness is continuation of me. Imagine being aware of every single process that is occurring inside of you. And there's nowhere else to go other than be inside. So while you're about to, how much you are aware of what is occurring in the moment of life while you're swimming and trying, and how quick we end up running away from it.
Mm-hmm.
To be aware of entire life probably will not make you come back again here. At some point, there's nothing else to be aware of rather than,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's nothing to learn. There's nothing to
Yeah.
experience. There's nothing to become aware of. Off you go elsewhere, somewhere. Who knows? But what
Mm-hmm.
am I coming back to here for? Right? So it's like even that I doubt and question.
Mm-hmm.
But how much of it you're aware, and these are the opportunities of life, gifted opportunities for us to grow in our awareness so we can witness everything related to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Similarly, how close that sex and death are, as he points out, they arise from the same experience. Um, I was contemplating when I'm reading it, like, oh, very, very rarely, if maybe never, have I, as he says, like lost myself in sex, like just totally gone into it and been like all the stories not necessary, all of the concerns about who might hear or what might be said or am I doing it right or is this working or is this, just like instead of being fully present in that moment in that center and being fully immersed in it. And I'm aware because I can see you smiling of the
Love.
potential like flowering that awaits me if I'm able to, and maybe I can step into that and just the process of contemplating it will help me to understand that there's a gap that I'm experiencing because I'm like locking down on a story or I'm just, going into the mind or I'm bouncing between, it's not just a full experience. And how similar that would feel to death. And I think that's why that's why it came up for me as I'm like, oh, because if I'm fully in the act of sex, it totally feels like I might die. Like I might be, like I don't know how to
Well,
how
let's talk
to
about it.
explain it, but yeah.
I'm like, let's talk about it. You're like, so what you're saying is that are you experiencing your energy? Let's just talk about energy. It doesn't matter in what act energy shows itself, but is your energy concentrated into one part of your body, or are you aware of its concentration, or is your energy spread across your body? In other words, can you feel the finger of your left hand hot as well as the toe of your right toe, like at the same time?
I think so.
That's it. It's just, are you aware? Are your feet cold at the same time while you're hot somewhere else?
Yeah.
And how do you feel? What does it do to you? It's actually so, okay, let's rephrase. Women have a multi-orgasmic body by
hmm
nature. It is very easy to spread. That's why it takes so much longer before play. It
hmm
takes because you want to warm everything. You actually don't want to warm one spot. You want to warm everything. So she can
hmm
become and transcend through it. And you don't want before play is so much longer. So the orgasm can actually last so much longer. You want that to be so long because she can then transcend through her whole body.
hmm
So, and you also want afterplay to close off the flower, right? So you almost don't want to miss the point. And look how much you, a male who has one center, has to actually enter into the body and play with that energy and learn how to actually expand it. Is it in your belly? Is it in your root? Is it in your, where is it? Is it in your almost like anal? It can even be on all parts of your genitals, and then see if you can spread it and how can you play with it. So it's very internal. And these energies then play together. It has no mind. Because in the mind, if neighbor is watching or kids behind it, kind of looking, that stops the whole flow of energy. So you almost have to have, that's why they say ritual. You almost want to enter into
Yeah.
the room just for that ritual so you can learn how to relax and not have a bed for fights, have bed
hmm
for love making, and never go to bed and in that room to fight in the kitchen. Like go there so you can learn, your body can learn how to relax into it in the act of spiritual awakening. It's almost like you want to open up the body so much and let its intelligence meet yours
hmm
in the act of love making. Now, in my words, in poetic words, how I say this, it's like love lens. I don't
hmm
even want to think it's mine. It's like when love shows up and lands in between and kind of just puts us all together. I like to think metaphorically about it because it's honor. It is a
hmm
pure honor. It's such an honoring act that I want to bow and vow to surrender to it because it's rare, you know.
hmm Yeah. Beautiful.
So the question then becomes how aware you are of your fire and where is that fire playing, and can you play with the fire rather than with the person? Play with it. Get comfortable to play with your fires inside your occurrences inside your body.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and so much has been coming up about voice lately. Um,
Mm,
so many synchronicities
nice.
about you sent me the vocal cord thing,
Yeah.
and I found it to be fascinating. And then just hearing more and more from different places about voice, and then contemplating song and singing and humming. And part of the part of why I bring up the sex act and not being able to like fully release in it is I find myself not wanting to use my voice because typically the kids are somewhere nearby, and I don't want whatever. I create a story around it of like I don't want them to knock on the door. I don't want them to be like start to figure it out on their own. I don't know. And I can't possibly know if that's right or wrong or good or bad, but I go into my head about it instead of having the access to it. But I think it's important to, just like with psychedelics, it's like set and setting is important. And I do recognize like having safety is one of the critical factors of having a complete and positive experience to be able to go in fully and then be able to come out. Um, and again, it goes back to just having the awareness of that and then be able to consciously make a shift in the environment or improve the space or make it more accessible.
Well, your children are learning from you how to be quiet in bed. And, all it takes is just explanation. We don't understand ourselves. And we actually don't want to give it the right meaning. That's why the self-discovery starts from the head, because you want to change the narrative you're giving it. So to
Mhm.
me, it's like educate yourself. And then that's just a tiny little spot A or starting point. And then feel free and safe enough inside of you to enter into the different field of knowledge. But it's very important we change the meaning that we give to the things that we were forced to learn. Because that's where
Yeah.
unlearning everything that we know has to happen. And indeed, we need to talk about taboo topics, sex, death, love, because they're already taking a very wrong turn. They have
Yeah.
taken a
Mhm.
wrong meaning, and the meaning has to be corrected, and better now to correct them than I've never had anyone in my life talk to me about sex. I
Yeah.
discovered my sexuality very early in the age. I'm lucky I was not alone growing up while my mom was working to experience my body and play with it. And I thought I had a guilt because I didn't, oh, am I doing something wrong? But I just went with it. So I am
Yeah.
very comfortable with my sex and like the arousal of it and playfulness. So I show like that in bed with my partners. And then they themselves feel permitted or they give it's as if like I act as a permission for them to be free to
Yeah.
be.
Mhm. Yeah. This goes, of course, this goes back to when I'm feeling socially lonely and I'm like looking for a Milica to be like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with you. And in a way, I'm like recognizing I'm the vampire in that situation because I'm like needing you and siphoning off in order to try to express myself more. In
Until
reality,
yeah,
yeah, it's like much like following someone that's laying the path, you're moving. And so for me to approach and try to step right behind you, it's futile. It's not fully who I am in that moment. So yeah, I'm like, just recognizing it. And I appreciate you in these talks because I get to work through,
I love talking about taboo.
yeah, the
Let's
truth and
dissect it.
the, yeah.
But can I also notice something too? It's like you want a, but this is where, and please, I am not your mentor. I don't even consider you my student. You are my buddy, right? So I get to play this ball with you, which is so I'm learning from you, through you, with you, the same way. So, but what's interesting, because it changed my way of thinking of mentors. He went through that path, caught all the traps along the way, and is now sitting in silence watching you when you get caught to tell you not do this. And actually almost like a not trick you, but make you question it until you no longer need your master or your teacher. I love that. You almost need a confirmation that you are inner confirmation that you're good. You're good.
Mhm.
And the fact that you're outlier, that you're a black swan, that you stand out from the crowd is everything you need
Mhm.
because truth is authentic. Beliefs are social. crowds believe. Truth is just very solo.
Mhm.
And sometimes, like, this is where the poem, the line in poetry can actually change your awareness to it. That's where you find the confirmation. So it's already inside of you. It's just the matter of time you realizing that now you can go alone. And the partner in this contemplative, reflective discoveries can hold, not even hold hand. I don't need to hold your hand, but to know that I'm there is good enough. Eventually, you're not going to need me. And that's where you take off. You know, I'm not going to need you,
True.
and I need you. I
Yeah,
need you to
same.
hear what
True
I
for
have to
you.
say. Same way. And I think it's beautiful and it's also very practical and it's also safe. So when you find someone whom you can go, and I wonder if I am actually in your community, you and I would talk day, night, and life will not happen. So it's good that I'm not there.
Maybe. Maybe we get sick of each other quickly.
That's true too. See? Doubt.
Yeah. You don't know.
All right. How about this? Do you still have time? Because, we're flying right now.
Yeah. Hmm.
Consciousness is like a sky, not like the earth.
Hmm. Yeah.
How do you think of consciousness when you contemplate?
Uh, Another one of Osho's talks, he says, be like the cloud. And I was talking with the kids because they're asking about clouds, and it's water. It's also air. It's like the air holding the water, like the water bear, Aquarius. Um, it's ethereal. It comes and goes. It moves with the wind. It sometimes drops the rain. It sometimes holds it. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what to say off of that. When I think of it, I'm like, if I'm being honest, I think, well, that's kind of boring.
So good. The sky or the consciousness?
Just the idea of like be like the cloud floating. Um, but in going a little bit deeper, that's what I mean, that's all that there can be is like this floating along with it's the illusion that I have control or that I can guide or direct or have the fire, with the part that says it's boring is like this the Aries rising and the
Yeah.
desire to
So good.
get my hands dirty. So
Perfect metaphor. Cloud collects itself.
mhm.
Think of aloneness, right? You have to come back to you in order to collect yourself with this love. So cloud then becomes so unique. There's no two clouds the same, and they never repeat themselves. So they become together. They almost join, something inside of them joins to integrate themselves. And they become so full of themselves that they want to reign.
I've been thinking because the saying is like you're so full of it, or like you're full of yourself as a
So it should be.
admonition. Yeah, but it's like
Hence why I say we
really,
have to change the meaning of everything.
mhm. Yeah.
You want me to be full of myself because I can give you everything then after. All my water goes to you who is dying in drought down on earth.
Mhm.
And I give you the water, I give you my rain, I give you my whole cloud, and then I disappear. And it's all yours. I'm not even asking anything in return.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's the difference in how it's meant is like ego, full of yourself, which is asking for something in return. It's asking you to acknowledge you, to meet you where you are,
So why then
which
is selfish Oh, go ahead.
I think this is a
I'm
good
waiting for
question
your
again.
point. Why is then selfish to ask for freedom to fill yourself up with you?
Well, I don't think it's selfish. I mean, I did at one point. I had to learn.
It's necessary. It's not selfish. It's needed.
Hmm. Yeah. Without it, we
No rain.
we don't fully live. Yeah, it's like, because in death is a full releasing, and we tend to say, sorry, oh my God, I had like four connecting thoughts. We tend to say, living like zombies or not being fully alive or you're dead to the world, like this twisting of the meaning to say you can't access something, like you can't have full life, so we go to the opposite. But in truth, like the opposite is the same, it's like a polarity of the same truth, in that sense. Um, I don't know, sorry, I don't know where I was going with it because I had like four things. The voice thing, and then also the words that we choose and how important it is to analyze them and to be precise with our words because of how much they impact and shape the reality that we live in. Just like in how Osho's talking about
Mm.
imagination and how in the deepest imagination, the body makes it real, and the who knows what phenomenon that exists in, but we have evidence and proof that there is a correlation. There is like this tie with the ability to see it and then it manifesting in our experience. Hmm.
Which is also a can be a trap. Okay, let me elaborate. You know how everywhere suddenly everybody's talking about manifestation. And then everybody's talking about sexuality. And everybody's talking about transcendence. It's like a trend. And now everybody's talking about astrology. So I want nothing to do with And you
Do you
also
think,
have, huh?
sorry, just to sprinkle some doubt on that. Do you think maybe is this like your online experience or your in real world experience?
Good question. Um, it is online. And when I want to bring it to the world is also it's like when you honk in a car when you're driving, you are really brave to flip someone. But when you meet that person, you're not that brave. You're not gonna
Yeah.
yell at them
Mhm.
and honk at them. It's like there's a huge amount of fear coming and personalizing the conversation about it. It almost stops. You have to kind of almost like crack it. And there's so much freedom in hiding behind a steering wheel in the car or a technology.
Mhm. Yeah, the sprinkle of doubt is like, to me, it seems like the algorithm, quote unquote algorithm, is getting very creepily intelligent. And even I have personal evidence of like, people have talked about this, but like having a thought or having a conversation away from devices and then having something pop up. And, if you explore deeply into some of the patents and technology that has been contemplated but not like released, and then we contemplate all the radio waves and the satellites and everything, it's like, who knows? And that's part of the doubt too, is like, what if how much of this experience is actually beamed in and out? And then why are we attaching to this idea? So, in that sense, you're saturated in the experience of like transcendence and sexuality and astrology, and you're almost like it's almost like you ask for some rain and you get a flood, and you're like, okay, no, this is too much. Um, yeah, and I say it because I have the same experience. Like everything that I'm interested in, it's just like it feels like everyone is obsessed with the same topics, and yeah, I don't know, just a
But
little
it's also,
doubt.
yeah, I like, and it's also good to realize this, right? So I think the point is really to realize the filling up with that and then releasing it, losing it all. It's like a filling up and then giving it all away, and filling up and giving it all away. And it can be applied across everything. So, in a sense, do you really believe intelligent AI is that intelligent? It's hard for me to believe it. That will read my mind. It's really hard. No human can do it. So, and it learns from humans. It's not going to be a next God unless I believe in it. And I sure am not going to. Because the previous God is also false. So I'm not going to sit here and think that some other robot is more intelligent than me. It's really hard for me to believe it. But oh well.
Mhm.
That's my unique. It's hard. It's really hard. If it's based on the language learned from humans, it's like, and human has imagination to imagine more, what does it actually know? It's always behind me. Anyway, so
If you want, yeah, I have a lot to say on that, but
please.
really?
Yeah. Do you really
Hmm.
think it has a consciousness? That's why it's like, what is consciousness to you? What is sky and not like earth?
Hmm. Well, isn't it interesting that I just want to point out some correlation that we used to store the data, the photos, the memories on hard drives and disks, and then at some point it went to the cloud,
Okay.
just the cloud
So
being consciousness as a metaphor.
it's dead. My picture is dead. It's no longer alive. I go back in 1990 and I look at myself and I was like, oh my God, I'm no longer that person. So you
Mhm.
can take everything from a dead center of collection memorabilia. I am not
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And it
I'll just,
stops right
yeah.
there. True. And then it just rephrases it so it sounds intelligent. It's not intelligent. I
Hmm.
cannot make it intelligent because it's not experiencing what I'm going through. It's unique to me. That's why intelligence is experiential. It is not intellectual. It can trick me, but it won't be able to experience me.
True. I,
Bam.
it's true. I will say this, that uh, humans are not great at understanding or contemplating exponentials.
They're afraid. Yeah.
It's just almost impossible to imagine the track of exponential and as it applies to technology as an example, or even economy, or even um, convenience. Like if you ask someone from 1910 to imagine a television or a cell phone or a chatbot, it's like maybe. I mean, maybe there's people that could imagine it, and then, but that's only 100 years. And so it's like you play out the exponential, and this is the story. And of course, this isn't my original thought, and I heard this, but I'm like, oh, I'm very curious about why this is, why we struggle with exponentials. What tends to be in front of us feels the most real. What tends to be in the past feels like a linear progression. But if we really think about the technology that we experience in our day-to-day now, and then compare it to 50 years ago, it is immensely exponential, and it's increasing the rate of change is increasing every day. So at some point in the future, we come to, in a sense, a saturation of intelligence and the ability to, so the metaphor used, and this, of course, this is very mind. So I recognize that there's, I'm going to put doubt on top of it after it's all done, said and done. But to just stay here for a second, it's like the progression of graphic interface and the ability to like, so video games in the 1990s, they were like 8-bit, just like squares moving around, and then they became more realistic over time. And then now you can just plug in a sentence or two to AI and it can give you a short movie. And it's like we play that out. And how long until the Matrix, where you're plugged in and you're experiencing reality, becomes real? I mean, there's haptic feedback vests, so you can feel what you're experiencing. You have the VR goggles. It's it's progressing towards that potential. Who knows if it gets there or not, or if there's some uncanny valley that can't be crossed, or if it's like there's a saturation point. It's like we thought it was exponential, but it's only to this point and then it's flat. Who knows? And that's the doubt on top. But playing it out, if it does progress in this way, then the likelihood that we're already in a simulation, some simulated reality or something created by some high intelligence that's already gone through this exponential curve is very high. But we frame it based on our understanding, like the universe is 13 billion years old, and there's many, many, many worlds that seem habitable and seem like the intelligence could form and develop over time. Therefore, probability says it's like 99.99% likely that we are a simulated reality from it's like we're already in the Matrix in a way. Like that's the story. That's the story. But of course, sprinkling in doubt on top of it,
Uh,
all I have is my experience. It goes back to gnosis, and
okay, let me
all
ask you
of
this.
that is projection. Yeah.
Deep down, how much of what you just said you doubted, really?
I don't know.
Did you have a little doubt about what you said? Just a doubt. And I'm not talking like deep down feeling of hmm, not suspicion, where not yes or no, rather than, but even this.
While I'm saying it, I don't feel it, but I lately I just like live with doubt. So I don't like I can't possibly know. And even if something is 99.99, you could carry out the nines as far as you want, but that little one at the end, it still lives somewhere in me where I'm like, how can I?
So can you trust that one?
No, I can't trust any of it. I can't trust it either side.
Love it. Because when the mind is so good in creating these constructs, and we have a huge cosmic library of dreams to pull from, not only movies and TVs and matrices and all these different, books. Like we actually have a so much more to pull from, and think, imagine, or create in our head. So yeah, it can be very scary to live there, right? Meaning it's coming. It is. It's here. And while I'm thinking out of it, my mind takes me out of me. what is it that I am actually experiencing from day to day? So
Hmm.
given an example, when you scroll and you are in, on social media, we were talking about it earlier. Am I really present? Is the question. Am I actually aware of what I am doing? Or am I
Hmm.
actually out there through that box? Or somewhere else? Am I actually somewhere else? I'm totally somewhere else. So my capacity is shrinking so quickly that I'm not even thinking. I lose my awareness totally. It's like why is it meant to lose me in my awareness rather than grow me in my awareness? Doubt. And then what grows me in my awareness? What am I experiencing? So let me give you another example. When you are about to orgasm, are you taking larger space, or do you feel shrinking?
More space.
Yeah, exactly. You're dying. Actually, you are exploding in your that of existence. Your existence, your whole self is literally poof, growing. So, if you as can you stay in this space that you just took and float off the earth and go through the sky, go all the way there, and what is left? Are you going to think about the earth? No, the further away from gravity you are, which is the earth, the bigger the space you are having. Caveat is, are you aware of yourself, what you carry with you, and are you fractaled? And are you dispersed in places everywhere? Or are you actually the whole, concise space or energy that just floats?
Hmm.
And is this scary to float and not know where you're going? Of course, it's scary. Can you go into the unknown and stay whole? Can I carry my energy with me anywhere I go, even if I go to hell?
Hmm.
And who went to hell? Not the ones that follow the rules. All the ones, as per saying, that break some rule went to hell straight. Poets, authors, rebels, occult
Okay.
teachers.
The
Yeah.
warriors.
Yes.
Hmm.
And that's where it's like, okay, now, like eventually you get tired of questioning and you're just settling into it, but you found out something, you found out the seed into meaning. It's like, "Ugh, why is it so given to me like this? Why is it so easy? Let me make it harder." And to make it harder, you're actually becoming curious about, but what is it actually inside of me? Who am I when I do this? Who am I when AI is just taking, am I really less intelligent? It's like, give yourself a credit. We don't give ourselves credit for anything. We are a massive intelligence in this box. If you produce the sound, you saw the vocal cords playing. This is literally what our generals are doing too.
Hmm.
It's like you're actually a box full of gifts, not an object.
Hmm.
And I simply cannot take it less than that. I cannot take that we are less intelligent. We think we are. We're just not trying. We're not trying to become our truth, right? So it's very easy not to try. It's so easy to comply. It's really hard to go against because there's no
Hmm.
example. You see, it comes back to now you're against the crowd because everybody else's crowd is believing, but your truth is so authentic to you that you're going to die for it. You're dying to free it.
Hmm.
And eventually,
Well,
from 10 to 2 to 1 to none, the following, someone to follow you and make sure that you don't feel lonely until you learn aloneness.
hmm.
Mm.
Is so there a story that or where did that arise from the idea that we're less intelligent, or is that what's being put out into the world right
Oh,
now? Or yeah.
well, isn't AI new God? New girlfriend. I don't know. It's becoming something so important that we have to put all our money into data centers to store hard drives. Isn't that what's happening right now? I was like, why do I need? It's like, I'm not going to believe that, which is that, so men created only dead things when you really think about it. Women created live things. So
Hmm.
who's creating that things? It's like that more dead. Like I can't really connect. I can enter into a desk, but I don't
Hmm.
feel a pulse. I want to be my dog. I want to be the plant that it's gonna live and die. It has its own thing. I want to enter into the pulsating things. It's like in vibrating things. So how can something that learned from me and knows all the way up to this point be smarter than me? I have a power to create new, to become new, to transform myself.
Yeah. Well, my question is like, why is the idea that it's smarter or
So
more intelligent?
I mean, isn't it? That's why it's called super intelligence. I don't know. Architect is now this new god that can predict, then go back all the way from ancient Egypt to tell you exactly what the future is going to look like. It's hard for me to believe it, right? It's
Is this
another
Robert
way of,
Robert Grant?
yeah, I mean, just collect the spots and it's like, okay, well, you also want to, I'm also, it's hard to believe in a institutional religion. It's really hard when you really think about it.
Hmm.
And what else can be done to me to take away my power of awareness?
Yeah.
And why is it not hitting me my fingers? It's hitting me my head where I lose myself often.
Hmm. Yeah. Maybe I'm naive and just in my shaping of how things are, I don't also accept that we are not more intelligent. I would say on the basis of how they're measuring it, yes, right? But that's what is that? Like we're the ones holding the ruler and saying, you know, this is longer than what we have already. But I think the magic of our bodies and yeah, I don't see a and this is the hard part for me is like I don't see how it can ever eclipse what is occurring in my consciousness and my awareness.
Yes.
Eclipse meaning like the object moves in front of the light and then there's no more. Like I don't see how that could be possible. And in that unfolding of my awareness in this experience, it's always new. And in that sense, it can't be eclipsed either. I think, and maybe you're helping me to see that in the deepest layer of accepting that we are going to be replaced, and I think that's kind of what you're pointing to, that is a denial of life itself. And not in
Hmm.
the sense of like approaching death, but a denial of actually of becoming more serious and um, more, linear in the sense of like we have it figured out, and this is how we get out, and this is, but in the truth of who we are, like none of that is determined, and of course everything is going to change and things appear. I mean, we have Uranus in the sky, so like it's not going to be the way that we think. It's going to be surprising in that sense. So I feel a sense of solace in the unknown, and that
Hmm.
the unknown always wins in that sense.
Hmm. It is machine learning. And when
Mm.
it flipped into the word intelligence is when we started trusting it more than our own intelligence. We are intelligent because we can create. It still learns as a machine from what we created. It doesn't know less, it just reformulates the words differently and sounds more intelligent. It's not. The real intelligence is less words, less wordly. It's actually really experiential. But if this is going to push us to come back to our own intelligence, and then good, good, it's doing its own thing.
Hmm.
And but it's actually really machine learning a human language.
Hmm.
And a language is a tool of manipulation. I can learn how to feel. I feel. I feel so
Yeah.
much.
Hmm.
I feel you, I feel me, I feel something, something. That's
Hmm.
really a big deal. And it's intelligent. I also can create another human being that has a consciousness. I also can a transform myself into another form and transcend what I know into the other one. And I also can give it all away and not ask anything in return. And I also can be an altruistic in nature. I also can sleep and think outside my box and
Yeah.
leave this body and come back into it. That's a really big intelligence. So fair to
Speaking
say.
of, hmm,
I also can
truth and
fall in
doubt.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of truth and doubt, and then trust, and those three words. Oh, did I just lose my train of thought? Oh shoot, hold on. Oh, okay. It feels to me that the feminine, the yielding quality of humanity leads to an evolution, or like, what do I want to say? When I think of, like, from the perspective of Blavatsky and the occult and esoterics, and the feminine in that sense of how it is the bedrock on which the foundation of everything exists. In that sense, anything we build on top of it is a one on top of a zero, or a masculine on top of a feminine. And the fact that we are not separate from our feminine nature, we are very integrated with the feminine nature. And in that yielding to whatever is pressed upon, is built upon, is designed or architected, that's the intelligence, because we'll always fill in the space that can't be filled. And yeah, I catch myself here. It's like endless paradox.
Love it. And just add a little thing. Real intelligence is spontaneous.
Right. Hmm.
It's free enough to come
Arises out of
whenever it
nothing.
wants. Yes.
Hmm.
But
Creatio ex nihilo. Creation out of nothing.
is that Latin?
Latin. Yeah.
Huh. So when do you experience spontaneity? Is when your intelligence is a opening itself up to your awareness. Nothing more than that is necessary, actually, when you really think about it, because it will be new. It will be original in its creation. How do we know there's another earth? We don't. Is it possible that the flower never, even the little stem of the flower doesn't birth the same flower? Every apple is different apple. Every pearl is unique. I am so different from you. We're so different. This chromosome is enough to be to differentiate me in something from you. Uniqueness is so precise and also necessary. If we're all the same, we would be bored out of our existence. We will stale and be like, well, end, la fin, no more.
Hmm.
right? So, if it's spontaneous, if the life occurs spontaneously, and it is occurring spontaneously, then why do I want to hear anyone else tell me how to live my life? It's like I want to allow spontaneity to come in and show itself up through um, excitement, through arousal, through boredom, through silence, through pain, through creative. So the yielding that you're talking about, it's actually allowing spontaneity to show itself up, and you have it in you. Why lie? You do. So you're actually androgyny in your own nature.
Hmm.
But the moment we start controlling when to yield, what to do, and to put ourselves in a box of roles, it's like that we kill the vibe. It's immediately. What I want to do is learn how to live spontaneously, live dangerously, meeting
Hmm.
myself at the edge all the time when I'm about to actually take that step towards nothing with no, as a fool, first in tarot, you said.
Hmm.
Can you be foolish? And can you unlearn what you learned and go back to your innocence in which the spontaneity of life is? You watch kids, they're so spontaneous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun. And I don't know, will I come back again here? I really don't know. I will never know until I do. So it's in the meantime, what's fun to me? It's like, did I really come here to suffer all the time and live in misery and console myself with friends who will actually really boost my misery even more? No, it's hard for me to believe that's the case.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for me, I'm only saying for me, off curiosity. I am off curiosity. Somebody is off nurturing or serving, like find your uniqueness in your own intelligence in which we all have it. That's it's
Hmm.
it's hard for me to believe that AI knows what I'm feeling because what I'm feeling now, it's not going to be the same in 5 minutes.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting because we tend to think about AI with LLMs mostly, with language models, and I'm watching closely the AI with Tesla because it's visual and how that develops because it's from a perspective of ones and zeros, it's much richer. There's a lot more information in an image than there is in words. So I think it's just something to be curious about. But I do agree with you in that sense. I had a dream this morning before reading Osho when I woke up. Um, I saw my first love, and she said, "Do you want to begin again?" And I said, "I do," and I started crying.
Aw.
Uh, and I was just like reflecting on that when you said, I want to come back and experience life again. Yeah. Who knows if we get to choose or who knows?
Yeah, I really don't know. But it's very interesting that the timeline is shrinking.
Hmm.
My experience, right? So I have no thought of the future anymore. I think that's such a cool phenomenon, and I am not afraid of not having a thought of the future.
Yeah. Let's go there.
Where? In the future? I
No.
can't.
I'm saying I'm saying you're brave and maybe being one of very few who won't or who can't. Yeah, because it's satisfying some temptation. I have to go. My littlest one is freaking out. I love you.
This was good. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Ciao.